guys, it's Alice, and today I thought I would recommend some of my favorite cozy mystery series for you. First up, we have got the classic Miss Marple series by Agatha Christie. These are actually totally due a reread for me because I think I read most of these in my late teens and early 20s. The series starts off with the murder at the vicarage, and I think there are about 11 or 12 books in the whole series, and then a couple of short story collections. I didn't read these in order though, and I don't really think you need to, although maybe reading the first one first just to get to know Miss Marple is a good idea. I remember my favorites from the series was this one, and The Body in the Library, and 450 from Paddington. The books follow Miss Marple, obviously, who is an elderly woman who lives in St. Marymead, and she is sort of a amateur consulting detective, I guess I would call it. She constantly finds herself in the middle of murder investigations, or sometimes she's asked to help. In the earlier books, she is a little bit of a busybody, like she really inserts herself into stuff, but she gets a little bit milder throughout the books, if I remember correctly. And these types of books are just really charming. I can also recommend watching some of the adaptations if you don't feel like reading the books. My favorite portrayal of Miss Marple is done by Geraldine McEwen, I think her name is. I love her as Miss Marple. Secondly, we have got the Phryne Fisher series by Kerry Greenwood. I've talked about these books a lot because I really do love them. I think there are about 20 books in this series, and maybe it's a good idea to read the first ones in order at least, just to get the characters established. But beyond that, I'm pretty sure you can just read whichever ones you want to. The first book is Cocaine Blues, and this whole series is set in Melbourne in the 1920s, and it starts off with Phryne Fisher arriving in Australia, and she is looking into the disappearance of this young woman, and eventually she ends up just staying there and starting to work as a private investigator. I like these books because they're really fun, they're easy to read, and reading about Phryne is just so much fun because she's so free and independent and determined, but she's also really sweet in a lot of ways, and she's just a really fun character to read about, you know? I did actually watch the adaptation of this, the TV series, before I read the books, and I can definitely recommend watching that as well. It's really, really good. Lastly, we have got the Death in Paradise series by Robert Thorogood. This series consists of 4 books, although I'm hoping there are going to be more, and I've read the first 3. And I feel like this series is probably good to read in order as well, just to get the characters established. A Meditation on Murder is the first book, and all of these books are set on a fictional island in the Caribbean. And we follow this English detective who is stationed there, and he kind of hates it, like he hates the sand and the heat, and he wanders around in like a woolen suit all the time because that's what Englishmen wear. And he hates how casual everyone is, but then he also kind of loves it there, you know? He leads a team of 3 other detectives, and together they solve murders. Now, if you have a low tolerance for things that are a little silly, maybe this isn't the series for you because the main character in here is ridiculous sometimes, but I just love that because it's super entertaining, and I think he's kind of charming. And he is also really intelligent, and the murders in these books are always really intriguing, and I just feel like these books are just pure entertainment, you know? Since I mentioned TV adaptations for the other 2 series, I guess I should also mention that this is also a TV series, although the books came out after the show, and I haven't watched it, so I don't know if it's any good, but a lot of people seem to really enjoy it. Okay guys, those were all of the books that I had to recommend for you today. I'd love to know what your favorite cozy mystery is, whether it's in a series or a standalone, and I will see you soon. Bye!